title insurance is very important in a real estate transaction, and it's interesting, doing this in front of a camera, because usually I'm sitting down with a person that has plans and has a potential contract, and we sort of navigate our way through the deal. But I can tell you some general things about title insurance. First of all, it's not like other types of insurance that you may be familiar with. Homeowners insurance, insurance, for personal property. I wouldn't know these things if I wasn't an attorney. So I can see why I can see why there are misconceptions about title insurance out there. A lot of people say, well, I'm getting title insurance, so what do I have to worry about? In those other types of insurance that I talked about, there are very common exceptions from coverage that people are familiar with because they've been there for a long time. In a real estate transaction, there's going to be an exception from coverage for anything that's of record, that's in the public records, okay? And that's why it's important to get a title search. You hear that term often. What happens is the title company, based on a title search, prepares what we call the title commitment, okay? And the title commitment is a commitment. It's a commitment to issue a title policy once the transaction closes, subject to the following requirements being met and subject to the following exceptions. The exceptions, as an example, are things that are recorded in the public records. And so what can be recorded in the public records? It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for you to prepare a document, sign it, have it witnessed if needed, have it notarized if needed, take it down to the county recording offices and have it recorded such that it encumbers or it affects a property, okay? So when the title company prepares their title commitment, they say, hey, we're gonna insure your title, what they do first is they search the public records. They say, but we're not going to insure over these things because we know that they're there. Okay, so there's nothing we can do about that. They're of public record and we can't insure over that. And so the onus is on the insurer or the buyer of the property to review what those things are. In a commercial real estate transaction, almost always those exceptions in the title is reviewed very closely with a lot of scrutiny, and attorneys do that. It's one of the things that I do, and it's a big part of my practice. And when there are issues, then you figure out how to work through them, and sometimes you have to negotiate agreements. In a residential transaction, a lot of people don't think to have an attorney there, and so they don't have someone reviewing all of those exceptions. And here's what I don't know. What percentage of the time is it not a problem anyway? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that could be 99 out of 100. That could be 999 out of 1,000. Because when there's not a problem, they usually don't end up in our office. But I can tell you that we see the files and the issues where there was a problem. And I can tell you that they're big, they're expensive, and they take a lot of time, they're time consuming. And so, for a small fee up front, to have an attorney review your documents and to make sure that the title policy is going to be the way that it should be, I think it's worth it, for someone buying a residential property or a commercial property.